Let's see. All right, we are live, everyone. All right, we're going to start off this live stream. We're going to look at some of the past College World Series and how they've connected to the actual World Series. What just happened? Okay, sorry, I just got a text from someone. Never mind. Okay. Anyways, all right, we're going to start recent history. We're going to start in 2022. All right, you had Ole Miss won the College World Series that year. Just go over to Gematria Calculator. Oops. Ole Miss Rebels, right? Ole Miss Rebels 54. Maybe that was, wait, no, maybe it was a Rebel. Sorry, yes, it was Rebels. Rebels is 61. Now, what ended up happening in the World Series that year, the Houston Astros won the World Series in their 61st season. Yep, 61st season, as you see that there. And the World Series that year was I don't know if if it's a good way of showing, but okay, well, I guess we can look at it this way. It was the 6th seed versus the 1 seed in the Astros' 61st season. And you had the Ole Miss, the Rebels, 61. They won the College World Series. There's something about, I think that's right, because everything that year was Jesuit. So yeah, Ole Miss Rebels, 153 and 54, just like Jesuit order. And Jesuit's also 42, as you see that there. We see that Ole Miss won 42 games that year, and they won the final game 4-2. That was on, they'll give me a date here. It was on June 26th. That's the day leaving 188 days. What is going on with my mouse? That was on the day leaving 188 days left in the year. The manager, Mike Bianco, 188, as you see right there. And just to show you, so what I said was June 26th, right? June 26th. It's day leaving 188 days left in the year. And so 177th day of the year, just like the Jesuit order 177. Yeah, so you had the team with the Jesuit Gematria won the College World Series on a very Jesuit day with their Illuminati manager, as you might want to call it. Very Illuminati 188. Yeah, and then you had, as I just said, whoops. And as I was saying earlier, they're the Rebels 61, just like how the Astros later won the World Series in their 61st season. It was the World Series between the 6th seed and the 1 seed. All right, that's for 2022. Next year was 2023. You had LSU win it all. LSU got their, where was it going to, okay. It doesn't really, there was something else about, okay, but anyways, let's pull this up here. LSU Tigers. Or no, maybe, sorry, it's just LSU. LSU is 52, all right? So what happened so LSU 52. What happened in the World Series that year? The Texas Rangers won the World Series in their 52nd season as the Rangers. And Texas Rangers is also 52. Yeah, so LSU 52. And that was the 76th College World Series, as you'll see here. 76th College World Series. Skull and Bones, 76. 76 and 41. The LSU manager that year was Jay Johnson, and he's still the manager. Jay Johnson, 41. So you have in the Skull and Bones year, the manager of the Skull and Bones Gematria gets the win. LSU 52, Texas Rangers 52. Rangers winning their 52nd season in Texas. And what was also interesting about that College World Series is the kind of like the underdog of that tournament was Oral Roberts. So here, Oral Roberts is the Golden Eagles. Golden Eagles is 52. I think Oral Roberts finished that year with 52 wins, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they finished that year with 52 wins. And then if you'll see actually in this, yeah, so Golden Eagles is 52 and 56. The first game of the tournament, they won, you could say it was 5-6 if you're looking at it from the TCU side. And then what's funny is the next game they lost to they lost to Florida, where Florida got their 52nd win of the season. So Florida got their 52nd win of the season against the Golden Eagles. And then LSU also entered the... You'll see they got their 52nd win entering the final round. So 52 was a huge number that year. And then it was no surprise that the Texas Rangers in their 52nd season... I didn't keep it up there. Texas Rangers in their 52nd season ended up winning the World Series just a few months later. And this was also the first year of Major League Cricket. And of course, cricket and baseball are different sports, but they are similar. And the team that won Major League Cricket that year was MI New York. MI New York 52. And if you go back on my YouTube channel from about almost 2 years ago now, you'll see I made a video talking about, this is right after MI New York won the title. I said, this is a clue that the Texas Rangers are your likely World Series champions. All right, so that's 2023. Now, last year, 2024, was a little bit more difficult, but there was a theme to it. As you see here, so the final score of the final game was 5-6. Tennessee won it. Where did my cursor go? There it is. Volunteers is 56. Tennessee is the Volunteers. And their manager, I can close that window. Their manager, Tony Vitello. Tony Vitello, 56 as well. What ended up happening in the World Series that year? Well, actually, I'll go with the Major League Cricket season. So a month later, the team that won the Major League Cricket season was the Washington Freedom. Washington Freedom, you see it's 263. 263 is the 56th prime. And if I'm not mistaken, they actually won it it was July 28th. I'm pretty sure that was the date with 56 date numerology. Let me just confirm that, though. So that would have been July 28th of last year. I must be misremembering. Did I put that in right? Maybe. Oh, no, I had 79 numerology. That's what it was. Okay, yeah, so Society of Jesus 56 and 79. Yeah, that's what it was. And then what ended up happening in the World Series that year is the Dodgers won the World Series. Their manager is Dave Roberts. And you see his real name is David Roberts. And yeah, he was 52 years old when they won it. And you'll see here he got his 56th playoff win by winning the World Series. And yeah, his real name, David Roberts. 56. Yeah, and I also believe they held their World Series parade. Let's see, because his birthday was May. Hold on, I need to pull back some memories here. I think it was 5/31 to 11/1/2024. Okay, yeah, it was a span of 5 months and 2 days after his 52nd birthday, and it was also a span of 5 weeks and 2 days before Pearl Harbor, when Dave Roberts is half Japanese. And there's probably some connection with, because Tennessee's the Volunteers. I think volunteer does have to do with something with Civil War. Or there's something with a war, I'm pretty sure. So it's called the Volunteer State, but where does it get its nickname from? Yeah, so a strong tradition of military service. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense that last year the team was named after like war/soldier symbolism, and then you had this whole World Series that was synced up with Pearl Harbor and World War II, which I have a video on. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, now we're on to this year. After all that, I had to break down all that because it's important. Oh, and yeah, one another thing actually that I forgot that I just crossed my mind. I was talking about 52 with the 2023 College World Series. Yeah, it was the 5 seed versus the 2 seed. Yeah, and then also last year the College World Series was 1 seed versus 3 seed. LA 13 and 41, 13th prime. So that's how we know that they connect the College World Series and the Major League World Series. Just with those 3 examples alone, there's probably almost 100 more that we could go over. But okay, anyways, we're on to this year. So we got the final between Coastal Carolina and LSU. And I'm actually going to switch windows here. No, that's not it. Sorry. All right. Here we go. All right. So to me, the thing that stands out the most is that LSU, if they win, you just have to win twice. If LSU wins games 1 and 2, they'll get their 53rd win of the season on 53 date numerology. We know LSU equals 52, so they're bound to get at least one. If there is a narrative for Coastal Carolina, I mean, Coastal Carolina does have those Jesuit numbers as well, and then they could win it on the day, leaving 191 days left in the year. Society of Jesus equals 191. Chanticleers does also equal 54. But to me, the thing that stands out with LSU, so we see that Tigers equals 78. This is the 78th college baseball tournament. And LSU Tigers equals 40. Now that's important because where did my window go? So last year we had the 120th World Series. So that means this upcoming World Series is the 121st. And I've been talking about this a lot lately. You got to know your semi-primes, all right? 121 is the 40th semi-prime. And as we just noted, LSU Tigers equals 40. And then Tigers equals 78. Just to show you here, this is the 78th College World Series. Now there probably is something to it being like the where'd it go? Where's the bracket? Here. There probably is something to it being the 13 seed versus the 6 seed, like 136, the 16th triangular number, or you could say it's a 6 seed versus a 13 seed, which is a lot like 613, the 112th prime number. let's just click on a random number here. Yeah, so 136, 16th triangular, and then 613, 112th prime. Yeah, but going back to these notes here, LSU getting their 53rd win of the season on 53 date numerology makes a lot of sense to me. They'd have to win 2 to get there. Not sure if there's not really anything else that's standing out for me right now. I guess if there is something I've been thinking about, if there is I'm not really sure who's going to win the MLB World Series this year, but we do know whoever wins this, it will definitely have a connection, like we've talked about. Whenever LSU has won the College World Series, almost every time there's been a New York connection. For example, 1991. So these are the times they won the College World Series. 1991, I'm trying to remember who won the World Series that year. It was the Twins. Obviously when you think of Twins, you think of Twin Towers. And if you look at the 1991 World Series, the 1991 World Series ended on 10/127, like buildings 127, Twin Towers. So they would have got there. I mean, obviously this was 10 years before 9/11, but the numbers are still there. So I think that means they would have won 102 games 103 games. Yeah, that makes sense. They won 103 games that year. Like Osama bin Laden born on 10/3. Okay, so that's your first New York, and also the other New York connection with the Twins is that the San Francisco Giants, back when they were in New York, actually almost moved to Minnesota, but they've moved to San Francisco because the Dodgers are moving to LA. Next up, 93. Not sure what the New York connection is there. The Blue Jays won it that year, so I'm not sure exactly what that is. 96, the Yankees won it. 97, the Marlins won it. I'm not sure what the connection is there, but 2000, that was Yankees Mets. Yankees won that. 2009, Yankees won that. 2023, the Rangers won that, and the Rangers used to be owned by the Bush family, and Bush was president during 9/11, and that was the 119th World Series, and they had Max Scherzer, who came over from New York. So yeah, that even though that was kind of an indirect New York connection, it was still a New York connection. So I'm thinking if LSU wins the College World Series, it is kind of foreshadowing of some team with a New York connection to win the World Series this year. Now I don't know for sure, but where is it? Or maybe was it New York? I can't remember now. Okay, so this was it. So Tigers and New York, they match in 2 ciphers, 78-33, 78-33, and 39. So they match in 3 out of the 4 ciphers. The thing is with the Mets, the last time they won the World Series was 1986, which was 39 years ago. So Tigers and New York both equal 39. There was something else, and now I'm just blanking right now. Sorry. I guess the thing is with because we know that New York is the 11th state, right? New York, the 11th state, and we know that what's 11 squared? 11 squared is 121. This will be the 121st World Series. So I don't know if I don't know if that means we're going to have a Subway Series if LSU wins. But as I said, it's likely going to be something involving New York, or at least a New York connection, if LSU wins the College World Series. And also, speaking of the Major League Cricket season, as I was just talking about earlier, the championship game is on 13/7. 137 is the 33rd prime. 137, 33rd prime. And New York 33, Tigers 33. I wonder if that means the Detroit Tigers are going to win. I don't think so, but yeah. So the team that won it last year was Washington. Washington Freedom. Freedom equals 33. And then, as I showed earlier, was Washington Freedom equal anything? Huh, so Washington Freedom has the Trump numbers. Interesting. Oh, maybe it was. Yeah, NY Mets is 66, just like Freedom. Not sure what the 66 connection would be, but there might be something there. Oh, because 66 is the 11th triangular. That's what it is. Yeah, 66 is the 11th triangular, and now 121 is the 11th square. Yeah, that's okay. So we'll see if the Washington Freedom win the Major League Cricket season, because if they do, that might be another indication of who could win the World Series. All right, let's see if anyone is in the chat. With Coastal Carolina, yeah, so I guess I'll go over this. I know Zach has talked about this before. Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, did I spell that? Yes, I did spell that correctly. So the only time they've won the College World Series back in 2016. I see Coastal Carolina Chanticleers 108. So we'll just do this here. Let's just do 2016. Oh, it doesn't exist. Sorry. Let's go here, 2016. Right, Coastal Carolina Chanticleers won it that year, and then just a little bit later, a few months later, you had the Chicago Cubs, ended their 108-year World Series drought. Yeah, so that's just further evidence about how these tournaments are scripted together. Let's see here. So there's all right, so as I said, if it does go to Game 3, it will be on the day leaving 191 days left in the year. And Coastal Carolina's got those Jesuit numbers. Just, as you see there, they've got those Jesuit numbers for sure, but is that enough to get them through? I don't think so. And I'm assuming LSU will be the favorite, but let's look at this. So that's for the game, but what about for the series? Maybe they did not have it. Yeah, but anyways, LSU is going to be the favorite, so Not sure if it'll be worth a bet unless LSU loses the first game, then maybe it'll be worth betting on them. But I don't think it's worth betting that much on LSU since they are the favorite. But yeah, I think that's pretty much covered everything I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I mean, as I said, they script college and MLB together. Let me just go look back at my notes one more time in case I missed anything. Oh, did I pull up the wrong? Here. Okay, good. I have the right one up. It would be funny if Coastal Carolina got one to get to 57 wins, because we know World Series equals 57. But I don't think they do those. They don't really do the World Series numbers with college because it's the College World Series, it's not the World Series. I mean, 173 is the 40th prime number, right? And LSU Tigers is 40? I just realized that. Hold on, we just gotta confirm this. Alright, yes, 173 is the 40th prime number. And if LSU wins it on Sunday, they will win it on the 173rd day of the year. 173, 40th prime, LSU Tigers 40. It's the 121st World Series coming up. 121 is the 40th semi-prime. That's looking like the likely outcome. Again, I don't know if there's a way to bet the series, but if you are going to bet, I wouldn't bet on game one. If Coastal Carolina wins game one and there's a way to bet on the series, then I would bet LSU to win the next two. If LSU wins the first one, I think it's likely that they win the second one and complete it on that, finish it out on that day. They would also go, if we look at LSU's record in the tournament thus far, so we see here they start out 3-1, then 2-0, so that's 5-1. So right now they're 8-1. Oh, so I thought it would be, my bad, I couldn't do math. I thought they would be 11-1, but no, they'll be 10-1. Either 10-1 or 10-2. Okay, so I thought they would get 11 wins, but no, it's only 10 wins. Yeah, and I watched the highlights of this game here. It was a massive sell job from Arkansas in that ninth inning. They had like guys not throwing to the right bases, left fielders forgetting how to keep their feet up. It made no sense. Oh yeah, it says right there. Record is 8-1. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Does Coastal Carolina have any like 82 or 91, 92 connections? Not that I see. So LSU has won, what, 7? How many World Series have they won? 6? 4, 5, 6. No, they're going for their 8th. Sorry, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so they're going for their 8th. Yeah, well, perhaps perhaps that's a sign. If they're 8-1 in the tournament, perhaps that's a sign that they're going to get their 8th title, and Coastal Carolina will stay on 1. Yeah, I mean, before the tournament started, I didn't do any live streams or posts on the College World Series just because I had other stuff to do in my life. But before the College World Series started, I was like I kind of glanced over it a little bit, and I was thinking it was either going to be LSU, West Virginia, or Auburn. And because Auburn's also the Tigers, and so they've got the same gematria here. West Virginia did have an interesting connection because West Virginia is 78th against the 78th tournament. And yeah, West Virginia Mountaineers is 121, like it's the 121st World Series. I forget what the connection with Auburn was. Maybe it was just that they were Tigers. I can't remember. Oh no, it's Auburn is 40, and yeah, 121 is the 40th semi-prime. That's what it was. But what's weird is that LSU knocked out West Virginia, and Auburn lost to Coastal Carolina, who's the team in the championship. I didn't do any, as I said, I didn't like. That was just over. That was just based on a quick glance. But yeah, I think that's enough for today, and I can end it there.